Alright, what's up, Guardians? It's Kage Myth here with our first Destiny 2 build video. And this one is for the Titans out there. I actually, when I came up with this, I actually had two friends of mine in mind. Both of them are Titans, and yeah, they both like to punch things. So yeah, I like to call this the just press W. Just press W build. Okay, you got to do a little more than press W, but yeah, let's start off going over the aspects and fragments here. Oh, my bad. So Arc 3.0 is here. We got a bunch of new aspects and fragments for Arc. System was updated. Let's see. So, we also got a new thruster ability for the Titans, or Strikers, rather. It's like an not air dash, ground dodge, basically. You probably won't really be using this. This is mostly just to make sure that you always have your Juggernaut shield up, but we'll get to that in a second. Your jump doesn't really matter. So we're using Seismic Strike. And if you want to read the details, you can pause the video. Then we got pulse grenades, and we'll get to that in a second. So we're taking Touch of Thunder to improve our pulse grenades, to have them generate ionic traces, and that will help you get your abilities back if for some reason you find yourself in a situation where you can no longer press W. You'll see what I mean in a second. Then Juggernaut. This is a really important part of this build. I tried it out, and you can do something sort of similar without this, but this really just makes it pretty mindless. So what it does is when your class ability energy is full and you sprint, you get a frontal shield that blocks incoming damage. Now the thing is, when the shield breaks, it also takes your class energy, which is why I went with thruster, since it's the shortest cooldown. And you'll see I get this back super fast with 100 resilience. Also, because this is a melee focused build, I highly recommend 100 resilience. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions as to how I can make this build better, please comment. I plan on working on all these throughout the season. Right now, this is kind of just like a fun thing that you can do. We'll figure out how it works in higher end content as we go. We got Spark of Resistance. So this one's a no-brainer. When surrounded by competence, you're resistant to incoming damage. You're going to be in the middle of enemies all the time. This is going to save your life. Plus 10 strength, melee build. What more can you ask for? Arc Grenade jolts the targets. Okay, this is helpful because we're already using a damage over time grenade, right? The extra jolt really is going to help you, again, in a situation where you can no longer press W. That will happen sometimes, but not frequently. The point is to have as much W uptime as possible. We got Spark of Discharge. Arc Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create an ionic trace, again, in case you find yourself in a situation where you can no longer press W. I felt like a lot of these seemed cool in practice, but realistically, they kind of just, they kind of just detracted from the experience of pressing W on your enemies. So here I picked Judgment. I actually just really like this hand cannon. You can get this from farming the Prophecy dungeon. It is very farmable. You can get this from the first encounter. So this rolls with Demolitionist Osmosis, which is really good because it'll help you get your grenade back faster, which can, again, if you are in a situation where you cannot press W anymore and you need to pull this out, it'll help you out in a bind. It also has Osmosis, meaning, it can generate those ionic traces on its own after you use your grenade, and then the grenade will also generate ionic traces, which will get you back on the path of pressing W again. We've got Xenoclast. So this, if I'm not mistaken, is a Vanguard drop. It always drops for me from the Vanguard. It might be a world drop, but I'm pretty sure it's a Vanguard drop. This is also kind of farmable because, as you increase your reputation, you get multi-perk drops later on in the season. They added that a little while ago, so you can get weapons with. Can I show that off here? Okay, yeah. So you see how this has an extra perk slot here, and sometimes you can get them in others. But I think you're supposed to be able to get them in all these slots, and it was bugged last season. I don't remember what the word on that was, but basically, instead of just having the whatever you have set here, you should have extra options as you rank up your Vanguard rank throughout the season. So this is actually farmable. Or you could theoretically, if you wanted, go with any other trench barrel shotgun. I imagine you could also make this work with a 1-2 punch shotgun, but that's a little trickier. This is more of like a W seismic slam, the shotgun's there just in case you don't kill it type thing. And then Thunderlord's good. They gave it overload rounds, so it's gonna be really good against overload champs. You're probably not taking this into an activity with champions, but I mean, maybe. Also, really good for ad clear, gets ionic traces, really good. So then we're gonna go over the armor real quick. I'm just gonna hover over the mods real quick. Again, 100 resilience. As a Titan, you should be able to do this. If you don't know, you can focus your engrams in the helm to get, resilience focused armor, and then just slot the rest with Resil. Best stat in the game for Titans. So yeah, we got Striking Light, and this is mostly for the damage resistance against competence while sprinting. You don't really care about the orb, right? Unless you're in a group setting, and even then, it's not really a huge thing. So then you take Elemental Charge. Become charged with light by picking up an elemental well. It grants 2 stacks if you have a matching well to your subclass. So I want to be picking up arc wells, since this mod is going to take 2 stacks to really get going anyway, because it drops. You drop one of your stacks when you get a melee kill. So Font of Might is handy for when you pick up that arc well. Makes that Xenoclast hit a little harder. Make sure you take that enemy down if you somehow left it up with a little health. And the real enabler of the W key, we got MK44 Stand-Asides. Grants an overshield when you're sprinting at full health with Seismic Strike, Hammer Strike, or Shield Bash equipped and charged. Hits with these abilities recharge a portion of your melee energy. Now here's the deal. I know there's other exotics. I'm pretty sure it is the Insurmountable Skullfort that will recharge your shoulder charge and also give you health back. What it will not do is keep you alive until you get there. That is what it will not do. And since shoulder charge will actually blind enemies now, well, at least in a larger area if you're amplified. I'm not a Titan, by the way. I'm a hunter, so I actually don't remember if it used to blind. But yeah, anyway, the whole point of the Stand-Asides is to get you in and make sure you get that shoulder charge off. Then we've also got Heavy-Handed. So while you're charged with light, you regain half your melee energy, and you use a stack of charged with light. So this fills in for the rest of the energy that you would get back from the Stand-Asides. So normally if you just use Stand-Asides by yourself and you got a kill, right, you would only get half the melee energy back. This mod makes sure that you get all of your energy back. There's other things that you can do to make sure you get your melee energy back. You could swap into slotting or into speccing more strength if you have the armor for it. You could also go with not Well of Ions, where is it? Well of Striking, and you can stack these because you don't necessarily need the Font of Might. It's just kind of like icing on the cake. And I guess really if you don't have the Charge with Light mods, you could technically do something similar with the the elemental wells. But we're gonna go ahead and show off what I cooked up here. Yeah. So it's gonna seem a little weird, but the first thing I'm gonna do is when these enemies spawn, I'm going to get amplified by getting arc multi-kills with this Thunderlord here. Then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and... Alright, we're amplified now. That means the next shoulder charge we get is going to have a much bigger blind effect. Oh, okay, that... You're supposed to slide when you do that. My bad. Okay, well that killed now. Okay, so that's great. So you see, I only got half my energy back, right? This is where the ionic traces come in. So now, we got our shield from the Juggernaut shield, and then we got the 44 stand-asides, and now let's get rolling. So, that Minotaur is now blinded. And, okay. Somehow I lost my charge of light. That's weird. But, we still have our shields, so we're kind of just free to run around these guys with the speed booster and the shield, and just not take any damage. Oh, you know what happened? I didn't pick up the well. I think that's the issue. Yeah, I didn't pick up the well to get my charge of light back. And if you do the melee with no charge of light, you will actually just not get enough energy back. I mean, not mess with that guy. Found out you cannot shoulder charge that guy. Tried it, died, felt bad. But, you know, you do have, you know, Thunderlord's actually pretty good now that they've buffed machine gun damage. But you see, I'm actually not really taking damage. Okay, so slide, and then shoulder charge. There we go, that's the well. I was like, where did that well go? There we go. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. That's weird. Why did I not? Huh. Okay, well. Did I mess up the slide? Yeah, this is something kind of a little different for me. So you kind of have to do this if you played like a similar melee build with Arc Strider. Yikes, what am I doing? Okay, I lost my shield. So this actually, here, we're gonna show you something real quick. This is what I was saying, like, why this is useful. Alright, we got our shield back. We're gonna get another overshield ready. And you see my health bar, right? So I'm just not really taking any damage right now. Now, I do actually need to get somewhere where I can heal, but the shield kind of helps with that. Right, so I can actually get out of danger, heal up. And then we're right back to pressing W. Sort of. Alright, let's see. Can we... Got a trace. Alright, see, so you see I keep going from 2 to 1 charge with light, right? Every time it's because I'm dropping an orb. And every time I drop an orb when I shoulder charge, that orb is consuming one of those charges. But that's basically the build. You know, for all of you titans out there that just want to press W, shoulder charge, kind of play with your brain off. Not to say that, you know, us hunters don't have a similar build, right? Like Liar's Handshake, combination blow. The game kind of plays itself if you do that. You know, everything just instantly dies. Liar's Handshake, 1-2 punch, combination blow. Like, it's even got AoE now. I might show that off, just, you know, for people that aren't familiar with it. But that's pretty much the build. I mean, there's other stuff that you can do to make this viable in endgame, probably. But yeah, like I said, we'll work on that as the season goes on. There's requests for it. Why am I like this? All right, you guys all have a good day. Remember, you know, leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions, questions, comments, and you know, I'll catch you guys later.